Welcome back, everyone, as we continue with the MSG 150 at Home presented by Chase. Bill Pito along with Monica McNutt and Alan Hahn, and a special treat as we say hello to the one and only Walt Clyde Frazier. Walt, do you have any shelter-in-place suits that you've been wearing these days or what?
I have not, guys. Just casual stuff, yeah. I
So
miss
what have you
dressing up. I miss dressing up, going out. So all I'm doing now is exercising, yoga, eating, sleeping, exercising, yoga, eating, sleeping. So I've actually been in the house since we came from Atlanta. I have not gone out.
Wow.
So that's what, 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
You haven't even gone out to buy a Snickers bar, Clyde?
Nothing. I have not left the house.
It's more like 7 weeks. Can you believe that?
7 weeks, right.
You know, when you look back to what was going on there, Clyde, on March 11th, you and Mike Breen in Atlanta, we're in the studio, and you guys are calling the game while they announce a suspension of the season. And as Alan just mentioned, that's almost 7 weeks ago. What was that like for you guys?
Well, right away, you could not comprehend it. You know, I heard what they said, but it did not sink in until like after the game. And we were supposed to fly to Miami the next day. We were going to be off in Miami, which would have been Thursday. Friday, we would have played them. And Saturday, I was leaving from Miami to go to St. Croix for a week. So obviously, I was looking forward to that trip. And then after the game, we did not fly back to New York because there was so much confusion. So we actually stayed over in Atlanta, flew back the next day. And it was so surreal at the time, and now it's starting to sink in, man, that there might not be a rest of the season.
And it's amazing to think, you know, Clyde, that the season has been suspended, and we wait to see when and if the NBA can come back and how they would come back. Would they finish the regular season? Would they go into playoffs of some way? And they've been talking about that now for a while. But when they do, from your perspective as a player and from watching the league right now, the way players are, is how difficult will it be? What are the challenges for players when they do come back, especially if you're jumping right into a playoffs?
Well, the playoffs are a special time. Like, I could play in the playoffs right now, and I've been out of the game for 40 years because it's about adrenaline. It's about motivation. It's about why you played the regular season. Is to get these rings, man. This is what spurs you on. So the playoff is like, hey, anybody can get ready for the playoffs. And so I don't see that being a problem for the players. I think they should start with the first 8 teams, whatever teams ended up in the playoffs. They should get those teams to go right into starting to play in the playoffs.
So with that in mind then, Walt, is there a team, or maybe, I don't know, would it be veterans or would it be younger players? Is there a team that would have an edge if we were to return and go straight back to playoffs?
Veteran teams, because of what I'm talking about, the motivation. They've been there. They know what it's about to get into the playoffs, the competition. So they will have an advantage over, say, younger guys who are not as experienced as dealing with especially the playoff pressure. And knowing how to get ready now, like a lot of the veteran players, they know how to keep their bodies fit. Right now, they're still in shape. They're doing their diet. They're exercising. With the young players who have not been there, they're kind of in disarray, calling the team, wondering what to do, how to do it.
I can look at those rings all day, so you can just keep holding them up. I almost feel the shine coming back at me on this side, Clyde. Speaking of rings, we don't have live action, but we do have some entertainment, and that is the Last Dance documentary we've been talking about those 90s Bulls. And I actually say that it's not just about the Bulls and Jordan. It's about that era of basketball. And the Knicks were very good during that time, and I'm sure we're going to catch up to that point in the next couple of episodes. You were there as a broadcaster. You watched it front and center. You had watched that. I know you were quoted about Michael early on in the documentary about carrying a team. But what is it that you're reliving as you watch that? What memories come back as you watch that documentary?
Pain, the agony of defeat. Mike Breen and I were doing radio at the time. We could not believe how fortunate we were. to be getting paid, to be sitting on the front row watching this dramatic action. The Chicago Stadium is probably the best place to watch the game. There were no acoustics. It was so loud in there, man. Say that Pippen make a steal, get the ball, go down, give the ball to Jordan, he dunks it. You know, Benny the Bull, the love of Bulls, man, the noise level in there was like so incredible that, you know, I still have goosebumps just from remembering that game and the swag of that team. You know, Jordan would come out and Grant and Pippen and how the crowd would get into the game. And like you say, though, we were right there with them, man, but just could not get over the hump.
So, Clyde, I don't know if you noticed, but your name came up on Twitter, on the Twitter streets, as I call them, during the documentary, when we saw video of Phil Jackson playing. Folks, on my timeline, at least, were mentioning your name. Do you remember, like, what do you remember of Phil Jackson, the player?
Well, you know, we came to the team the same time. He was a second-round draft choice. I was first round. So we both were defensive oriented. So as rookies, we only got into the game to play defense. Phil and I would create havoc and mayhem, pressing, trapping. He was my roommate, so I have a lot of fond memories of being with Phil.
Would you say that it was similar to Dennis Rodman style-wise as a player? Because some of the video they showed made you feel like it was almost side by side, the same type of hustle and going after rebounds and elbows everywhere.
Yeah, his nickname was Head and Shoulders. He had the long arms for us to be all over the place. And we also called him the Happy Hooker because he had the hook shot in the paint. So,
Clyde, great memories there. All week long, speaking of memories, we're taking a look back at the period known as Linsanity, that magical period of time, specifically in early February of 2012. What do you remember most about that incredible time?
I remember on paper a Knicks team that looked dynamic. Amari, Melo, Chandler. You thought, you know, D'Antoni as the coach. So you thought this was going to be a formidable Knicks team. There was nothing there, man. No fire, no desire, no chemistry, no continuity. So Lynn was a blessing when he came in and did what he did because they were so stagnant. They were standing around. Nobody was doing anything. And, you know, he was like an earthquake. He did a lot of damage, only about 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It was just a short time, man, but he had a dramatic impact on the team and really ignited the fan base for the Knicks.
You know, Clyde, when you look back at the starting lineup of the games we're going to show tonight, Knicks, Washington, and also the Knicks against Minnesota, Amari Stoudemire's brother had died in a car crash. Melo was out with a bad groin. So it was Jeremy Lin, Jared Jeffries, Tyson Chandler, Billy, who is now known as Henry Walker, and Landry Fields. And with that starting five, they pretty much went on that incredible 7-game winning streak. It was just amazing when you look back at the box scores and look at what Lin was surrounded by when he was doing his thing.
Right, but that was a team that needed leadership. A lot of those guys could not create. So Lynn was a superb guy that could penetrate and dish. And remember, he was sleeping with Landry Fields on his sofa. Right. He didn't even have his own place, man. So that's how bad it was for Lynn. And he just galvanized the team with that unit you just alluded to. Nobody knew who they were, but they brought a lot of excitement to the Knicks fans.
All right, Clyde, we'll leave it there. So great to see you. Be safe. Stay healthy, and hopefully we'll see you in person really soon.
Okay, you guys too. I enjoy you, man. Keep up the good work.
That's a great chair you're sitting in, by the way. That's
you look like the king, Clyde. That's a king's throne right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
the chair.
I know. This is one place I pay the cost to be the boss. So I'm the king.
You're looking good, pal. Stay well, okay?
All right, guys.
All right, coming up. As we continue on the MSG 150 at Home presented by Chase, we'll continue to look back at Linsanity and how he made the most of his opportunity when we come back right after this.